To everyone new here, welcome to the Nature Hero Talk Series 3.0. And to those who have been here before, welcome back. We are going to start now, so get ready and pay attention. This Nature Hero Talk Series is brought to you by Malaysia Nature Society, Negeri Sembilan and Malacca branch. I'm Yendi and I'll be your host for today. If you'd like to be a voice for nature, be sure to join the membership at You can join as a family, as an individual, or as a school through Club Pencinta Alam, RM per year. After you join this society, you will be a part of 14 branches all over Malaysia, where you can meet like-minded people and share your ideas and passion for nature. The purpose of this Nature Hero Talk series is to cultivate your understanding of the environment and to encourage you to be a scientist so that we can conserve the environment for the future. Information about past and future talks in this series is found at the Eco Partners app. This app where you can keep track of your learning and positive environmental impacts with Eco Points. You can also earn certificates by attending this talk. The process of the talk today will be 30 minutes talk and 10 minutes Q&A session after the talk, where you can ask questions to us by keying in your questions in the chat box. Or if you're watching from Facebook Live, you can enter your questions in the comment section. At the same time, the quiz will happen from the app, where the fastest top 5 people who answers the quiz will get prizes. All right, if you'd like to be a volunteer, please WhatsApp us or email us if you're interested so that you can be trained as a volunteer. There will be 2 types of certificates. The first type is issued by MNS Negeri Sembilan and Malacca branch. If you get 70% mark in your quiz today after the talk, and the top 5 people will get the prizes, the highest mark, fastest to submit. And complete a follow-up action, you will earn 50 Eco Points. The second type of certificate is recognized by Ministry of Education, where you can attend a 2-hour forum happening on the 30th of October to discuss and refresh all the topics that you learned, followed by a big quiz with 50 questions. Right? In this quiz, 80% of the questions will be from previous talks, and 20% will be from that day's discussion. So if you are the top 5 to get the highest mark and the fastest, again, you will get a Sijil Pertandingan or Pencapaian competition or achievement certificate. And the rest of you will also get something, don't worry, you'll get the Sijil Penyertaan or a participation certificate. Okay, all the talks will be recorded and they will be uploaded into YouTube, and you can watch the videos as many times as you want, and do the quiz again and again, twice actually. You can do the quiz and follow-up actions to gain points. So this forum is now live on the app, so you can check your app at the event section. There will be this picture, SDGs, what can we do? That's the one that you want to click to attend and participate. Poster for the competition of the sponsors for today's quiz prizes are Turtle Conservation Society, Dominic O'Sullivan, and Salute. So thank you very much for sponsoring these gifts. All right, so here I have 2 QR codes, and also my co-host Tanisha will post the links to these websites, where on the left you will find the Facebook page of MNS Negeri Sembilan and Malacca branch, and on the right is the YouTube page of all the recorded talks. So this is the schedule of our environmental literacy talk series. Today we will hear from Forestry Department in Sharol, where he will talk about Malaysia's forests in our first Life on Earth module. So let me introduce about Sharol, Sharol. He is a graduate from University Putra, Malaysia with a Bachelor of Forestry Science with honors, minoring in wood science and technology. In 2017, he was involved in National Tiger Survey, NTS, as a research officer at Department of Wildlife and Nature Parks, Perhilatan. He is currently working at the Forestry Department of Negeri Sembilan as Assistant Director of Forest Eco Park and State Park. Over to you, Encik Sharol.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to everyone. Can you hear my voice, Yanji?
Yes.
Okay, let me share my slide first. Okay. Okay, for today's presentation, okay, first of all, for today's presentation, I would like to present to all of you about Malaysia Forest. First, I just want to introduce about myself. My name is Sharizam Baharudin, and like Yanji said, I'm now at Forestry Department, Negeri Sembilan Forestry Department. Now, today I would like to talk to you about Malaysia's forest. Actually, today's will be quite basic. Hopefully, will be basic, and hopefully it will be make to all of you clear what exactly Malaysia Forest is all about the rule, about the what, how can we classify the forest itself in Malaysia. Okay, continue. Okay, first thing, what is forest? I think all of you know what forest is all about. It's simple, actually. It's about this is some kind of definition. I found many kind of definition, but the one of the definition is forest is an area with high density of tree, and also definitely forest is habitat for plant, animal, and also for microorganism. And when they talk about the forest, there are many types of forests. In other world, maybe like Malaysia, we have our own kind of forest, and definitely I think all of you know what is our forest, and this is our forest, a tropical rainforest. In Thailand, we not call it as a tropical rainforest, we get temperate, but in Malaysia we call it tropical rainforest. And when they talk about tropical rainforest, I think this is the forest that we have the most diverse in terms of biodiversity. What you can see here, we have about 15,000 species plants, 306 species of mammals, 742 species of bird, 500 species of reptile, and 200 species of amphibian. I'm not an expert to all kind of this, all kind of these species, but I know a little bit about this. But I will introduce to all of you about this kind of species after this. But now I'll give you some kind of example, what kind of species that we have, in Malaysia. Is there any of you ever see this flower? This is what we call Rafflesia. In Malay, we call Pakma, bunga Pakma, and also some English call corpse flower because of the smell of this flower. This is the biggest flowers in the world. We can only see this flower in Southeast Asia, in Philippines, in Borneo, and also in Malaysia. In Peninsular Malaysia itself, we only can find it in Rawak and I think in Greek. But when you call about this kind of species, Rafflesia arnoldia, this species is very big. This is the biggest. We have smaller kind of Rafflesia, but this is the biggest. This is just some kind of example of what the unique thing about biodiversity. If I want to show you all about the plant itself inside here, is I know it's so many, 15,000 plants. Okay, let's proceed about forest back. What is forest? As I mentioned to you, we are tropical rainforest. And in Malaysia, is that we cover forest cover actually is about 54% of Malaysia land is covered by forest, not included palm oil plantation, not included the rubber plantation. And to be specific, at Peninsular Malaysia is about 43%, Sarawak 62, and Sabah 59. But sometimes this data is sometimes some mention 63, in Sabah some mention is 60, but it's all, but to be accurate, it's not, but this data on 2017. Okay, when they talk about forest cover, and also we need to know about the type of forest or type of forest reserve that we have in Malaysia. I mentioned to you earlier about the type of forest that we are tropical rainforest, but we classify in Malaysia into different kind of forests in terms of rule and regulation, in terms of the management itself. Okay, for example, me myself working at Peninsular Malaysia, Forestry Department at Peninsular Malaysia, at Negeri Sembilan. For your information, the power and the forest matter, the land matter is controlled by the states, not controlled by the federal. That's the first thing that you should know. When it's controlled by the state, it means federal advise them create the states and act, the rules, and it's either the state want to follow, is not, it's depend on the state itself. Okay, let talk about the classification, the type of forest reserve in Malaysia. In Peninsular Malaysia, we call it permanent reserve forest, and also we also have national park, and lastly we have state park. Actually, it's not a state park. Actually, it's state's forest. It is controlled. It's a land by the state. And Sarawak is quite unique. We have forest reserve, protected forest, and also communal forest. Forest reserve is in Sabah, we have forest reserve and national park. Okay, let me explain about Sarawak first. When we talk about Sarawak, we have three categories here. Forest reserve. When we talk about forest reserve, it's not about we cannot. People always believe that when they talk about forest reserve, there is no logging activity inside here, but actually it's not. Logging or production itself, like timber and non-timber product, it's inside of forest reserve, but they must have a license. For example, in Sarawak, they also have a license to doing some kind of production forest. This means that all the production team must be in forest reserve in Sarawak. Protected forest, yes, definitely you cannot touch anything. For communal forest, it's quite unique, because this is some kind of forest that only allowed by community inside of the forest and also surrounding of the forest itself. Not for a license, for big license, not for the toke like that, something like that. Okay, now focus on Peninsular Malaysia, because I mean Peninsular Malaysia is better for you to focus on Peninsular Malaysia itself. We call it a permanent reserve forest. Permanent reserve forest. In permanent reserve forest, actually is quite the same like forest reserve. I will explain later about permanent reserve forest, and then a national park and state park. And national park also I will discuss a little bit about. Okay, now let's proceed about permanent reserve forest in Malaysia. Okay, this is forested area, about 1 million hectare. In Peninsular Malaysia, about 5.8 is a forested area. For permanent reserve forest, actually 4.93, almost 5 million hectare is a permanent reserve forest. This means that about 85% of forest is about 85% of permanent reserve forest in Peninsular Malaysia. And Sabah and Sarawak is about 41%, 81.5%, and Sarawak 74.7%. Is what you can see from this table. It's about 18.27 million hectare in Malaysia. Okay. Now we focus on Peninsular Malaysia, because I'm working at Peninsular Malaysia. I'm not really aware about Sabah and Sarawak. It's better for you to understand a little bit about Peninsular Malaysia. In Peninsular Malaysia, when we talk about the Permanent Reserve Forest, PRF, it's managed by Forestry Department Peninsular Malaysia. And the size is set at 4.93 million hectare. And the unique thing about the permanent reserve forest actually is divided into 4 broad areas. Actually, we divided into 12 specific items, but I try to mention to you about 4 broad areas, 4 broad classification. First thing is about production forest. Okay, I give you some kind of example in production forest. In Negeri Sembilan, we have about 155 permanent reserve forest in Negeri Sembilan. Is about 50% is a production forest. This means state government will give a license to anybody to to do some kind of activity inside there for timber production, for even for non-timber. Even you want to do some kind of what we call to stay inside the forest to do some kind of activity is also allowed, but must have a license. That's a production forest. And then we proceed into the protection forest. In Negeri Sembilan, protection forest is representing around 50%. Protection forest actually research and education forest and amenity forest also included in protection forest. But in terms of just want to make you understand about protection forest, actually we are trying. The purpose of protection forest itself is first is for soil protection, especially for the land above 1,000 meter above sea levels. We cannot logging. There's no log activity as everything is forbidden. Maybe for some kind of research and education we allow. And then for protection forest, we also important for flood control and water catchment. In Negeri Sembilan, majority of protection forest is for water catchment. I will explain to you about the importance of water, importance of forest for water conservation after this. Okay, I will give you some kind of example in Negeri Sembilan also. For research and education forest, we have approximately around 1,500 hectare, 1,200 hectare only for research and education forest located at PD Port Eastern, located at Port Eastern, Sungai Menyala. Maybe you can come here. I will promote you later about this research and education forest. And then amenity forest, this my quite expertise, my job role in Negeri Sembilan, Forest Eco Park. Like if anyone ever heard about Taman Eco Rimba, Forest Eco Park Ulu Bendol, Jeramtoi, Negeri Sembilan, what else? Lengging, everything is inside of amenity forest, Forest Eco Park. This bill especially for public to come here, at least to touch, at least to feel what is forest is all about. Okay, and then I want to clarify here for all the public, if you want to enter the, to want to do some kind of activity inside of permanent reserve forest, you must have a permission from forestry department. Okay, now I think this is quite good. I just want to mention to you about the national park. The question is, what are the main forests in Malaysia? Definitely it's a national park, but for your all information, national park actually is managed by Perhilitan or Wildlife Department in Malaysia, not managed by Forestry Department. But maybe here I can give you some kind of introduction because I'm a little bit have experience about this area. Okay, national park actually is comprise the area from Pahang, Kelantan, also Terengganu, and the area is quite big, 434,000 hectare, 3 times Negeri Sembilan, 3 times of the forest in Negeri Sembilan. And the entrance, if you want to come here, it's enter in Kuala Tahan, Kuala Ko, Merapu, and Tasik Kenyir. These 4 entrance, Kuala Tahan and also Merapu located at Pahang, Kuala Ko at Kelantan, and Tasik Kenyir Lake located at Terengganu. And the good thing, the best thing about the unique thing about the national park itself, actually, the one thing is that we have the highest peak, the highest mountain in Peninsular Malaysia, in Mount Tahan. I have experienced a little bit about in Mataran. This mountain is very tough. It's required 7 to 9 days to at least to experience the the nature itself. Because I'm also a Pelitan before, I have a some kind of experience. Try to search, to try to find the tiger in Malaysia, Malayan tiger in Malaysia. And one of the place is in the national park. It's very challenging job. I have to go inside the forest more than 2 weeks. And then, and also at the national park or Taman Negara itself, we have some kind of ecotourism activity you can do around here. I suggest to all of you, at least come here at least once in your life. It's a very beautiful place. If you are lucky, maybe you can find some kind of wildlife here. Sun bear, maybe. I will introduce a little bit after this. Okay, now the important part is, when I talk about forest, what is the important in forest? Definitely, I've mentioned to all of you about economy. Actually, it provide food and medicine, and also timber and non-timber. Okay, for your information, it's about 2 billion people rely on forest only for economic purpose, only for livelihood. Okay, now is actually the important also for habitat. Is a home to 80% of the world terrestrial biodiversity. You know how important this forest is, and also solve a livelihood for indigenous people. For example, in Negeri Sembilan also we have indigenous people quite a lot, especially in Jelebu and especially also in the Lengging. You know, forest itself actually is the main source of purpose, the main source of economy for indigenous people until now. The other thing is storehouse of carbon. The importance of forest is, I think, is storehouse of carbon. When we talk about storehouse carbon, it's very important to maintain the area, the size of forest itself in Malaysia. I know it's very difficult to maintain, but you must have to do so. Maybe you public must help us as a government to do so, this kind of thing. Okay, why is important storehouse of carbon? Because absorbing harmful greenhouse gases, this is because of that. And also in tropical forest alone, 1/4 trillion ton of carbon is stored in above and below ground biomass. This means that all the carbon, if there's no forest, the carbon will be, you know, will be in the air very easy, you know. Oxygen is like we must have oxygen. Second, and then the last thing is about protection. It's about absorbing harmful greenhouse gases I mentioned earlier. Provide clean water. Okay, this is very important. Providing clean water for drinking, bathing, and other household needs. And protecting watershed and reducing the amount of erosions, serving as a buffer in a natural disaster like flood and rainfall. This is why forest actually is the place where water is come from forest. What we drink right now is come from forest. That's very important. Okay, that's the importance of forest. Now let's go into the quite interesting part. Is there anyone know is this? What kind of animal is this? Okay, I mentioned to you earlier, but if you go to the Taman Negara, if you go to the national park, maybe if you're lucky enough, you can see this kind of animal, sun bear. This is sun bear. For your information, this is the only bear that we have in Malaysia. All around the world, we have 8 types of bear. This is the only bear in that we have in Malaysia, and also this is the smallest bear in the world. Okay, now, okay, this is quite rare. This is why it calls siamang. In English, also called siamang. Species is Symphalangus sandactylus. Actually, this kind of species, yeah, actually, it is quite difficult to see this species. And for your information, I think for the next 2 weeks, it will be some kind of talk about the primates. Maybe you can learn a little bit about a primate in Malaysia after 2 weeks from now. But today I will like to show you the siamang itself. This siamang, actually this kind is a very shy primates, you know. But the thing, the love I love about siamang is the way he call. The way this animal call, you know, is some kind of singing. We call calling of each other. I have no sound to show you, but I know maybe you can go. You go to the national park. Maybe you can listen to the voice and listen to the way they sing. Okay, this also type the animal that we have. This is a reptile. This is we call in Malay ular kapak, viper. This is very dangerous. This is quite dangerous. I think all of you know this viper. It is not the same like cobra because the way she's attacked is different. And now, okay, I love these birds. This is called in Malaysia. In Malay, we call enggang kelingking. Actually, there are many kind of enggang in Malaysia. About 13, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This is one quite not really rare, quite vulnerable in Malaysia. But if you go to the Jelebu, our state park in Jelebu, it is quite abundant to see that Oriental Pie Hornbill is very beautiful, and also you know some kind of satisfaction if you see this kind of animal in forest. Okay, this is the thing that this type of animal that we have, the amphibian. This one amphibian, one example to all of you about the amphibian in Malaysia. We call Malayan hot frog because there's some kind of tanduk inside there. Okay, this proboscis monkey, I think all of you know. But the good thing about the unique thing about proboscis monkey, there is no proboscis monkey in Peninsular Malaysia, only a Borneo Island. This is endemic in Borneo Island. When you talk about endemic, actually it is located only in Borneo. Okay, this is like horse sometimes. Some people, when you can see, this is one of my Australians. when people do some kind of hiking activity in Negeri Sembilan, and then one visitor called me about they found some horse in the forest, and I'm quite shocked. There's no horse in our life, in our forest. And then I realized I think that is not a forest. Actually, that is called, in Malaysia we call kambing gurun or mainland serau. This is quite rare. Based on my experience in Perhilitan, when I put a camera trap in a forest, this is one animal that's very difficult to find. This means maybe I'm afraid it's not. I'm afraid this is not extinct. It's quite still abundant, but abundant is sometimes this place that full of stone, limestone area. In Negeri Sembilan, it's quite abundant. Okay, this is also the thing that we need to preserve. WWF also very concerned about this. This is called Malayan tape. Before this species name, we call Tapirus indicus. Actually, it's some kind of another genus we call Acrocodia indica. This species is quite abundant in Negeri Sembilan, but nowadays, because of fragmented of forest, I don't know, it's either it's fragmented of forest, and also because of the way we build our forest, we build our road because of that. In Negeri Sembilan, the cases for roadkill of tape is quite high. I'm afraid it will become higher for the next, maybe for the next 1 to 3 years. And I think myself as a government and public also when we do some kind of awareness to conserve this animal. It's around, whereas a Pelitan is around, in Negeri Sembilan only around 1,000 maybe. This animal, this tape is very shy. It's very, I love this animal. And the good thing is, we forestry department next year maybe we will do some kind of, we have a sanctuary of Malayan tape in our state park in Jelebu. Maybe not next year, maybe on 2024, it will be controlled by Perhilitan in our forest in Negeri Sembilan. It will be a good opportunity to all of you to touch, maybe to learn a little bit, to face what is a tape is all about. Okay, is it a tiger? No. In Malaysia, we call it harimau dahan or clouded leopard. Clouded leopard we have in Sabah, we have in Borneo Island, we have also in Peninsular Malaysia, but different kind of clouded leopard between these two places. In Borneo, we call Neophelis diardi, actually the Sunda clouded leopard. But in Peninsula, we call clouded leopard, Neophelis nebulosa. It's not really much, but still, it's just like a tape. Now it's quite easy to all of you to see this kind of at kampung-kampung, at village, because the forest itself, the fragmented of forest itself. And the size of this cat is not really big. Actually, the weight is around 30 kilo, and yes, definitely it's very fierce. I have a experience to handle this one. I have to put some kind of injection to ensure this leopard, this clouded. This is not leopard. This is the clouded leopard. Leopard is different thing. Okay, I have a lot of animal actually, but I know just very lot. I'm not mentioned to all of you about Malayan tiger because I think all of you know what is Malayan tiger. Well, I'm not really mentioned to you about a leopard, other kind of primates, because the time I think is quite so just 30 minutes. I will give you as much as I can about it. Okay, I mentioned to you earlier about the importance of forest. The important forest now, let's specific for water conservation. Okay, the thing is actually forests help maintain high water quality. Why? Because the root itself in our tree will hold the tree, and it hold the water, and the water also is come from our land and stay in our land. That is why when we talk about the law, is something, if our logging activity is uncontrolled, it will be some kind of flood happen, but it's not a flood is come from the forest. That is the thing that you should also know. But yes, maybe some of the forest, if you not control, is not is unsustainable logging activity at the forest itself. It will be affect our water quality, and also it also influence the volume of available water is also important, and also actually is regulate surface and groundwater flow. And the last thing, actually, the importance of water conservation is about forests also help reduce water-related risks such as landslide, floods, and drought, and prevent desertification and salinization. Salinization is very important to all of you, the importance of water conservation. Okay, the interesting part is what can public do? What can you do to help conserve forests? The first thing, definitely plant tree. The more, the better. And today I would like to promote to all of you about the tree planting campaign that we now are promote from the government. We call it actually the 100 million tree planting campaign. This 100 million tree planting campaign actually is you can plant any kind of tree that you want. You can plant anywhere that you want. You can plant at the school, the tree, but it's not only forestry. Maybe it's not really some kind of whatever tree that you want. Let's just wait. And also, if you want to participate, the 100 million tree planting campaign, just go through. Just go through the apps. Actually, the apps we call Penghijauan Malaysia. This some kind of that you can maybe you can find the website of Penghijauan Malaysia. You also can find at the Play Store. Just download, and then after you plant a tree, at the time must take the picture and put your picture live inside of the application, because you will have the number of what we will count every single tree that you plant. I think this is good activity. This is the initiative from our government. This from initiative will help actually for a youngster. Maybe youngster is not even know how to touch the soil itself. Maybe this opportunity for the school, opportunity for all of you. In Negeri Sembilan, maybe we can make some kind a school in Negeri Sembilan. Maybe you can call me later for some kind of what you call, maybe we can help you if you want to do some kind of this campaign. Okay, the other thing is simple. We call go green. This is very simple as a human. It's very challenging. I know some kind of go green initiative is quite some of things we can, something we cannot do. For example, use double-sided paper when you print the paper, and also go digital with your bills. This is very simple. Pay with your card, or either pay with your e-commerce. And then every time you read right now, read on your handphone, like your magazine, like your e-books, is better than that. And then the good thing, I use wooden furniture. I think all the houses right now have a wood furniture. The way we can reduce it, I think, is by by buying used wooden furniture. Okay, this is quite challenging. Use clothes, diapers. Until now, we still use paper diapers. I think that's, if it's depend. Even me myself, you still not use clothes diaper. But if we can do this, I think I'm proud and I really salute to all of you. And second thing, the next thing is about avoid paper towel. Maybe you can use at the toilet. Maybe just use a dryer. And another thing is switch to bamboo paper. For your information, bamboo is the kind of species that is a fast-growing species. After 5 years, we can harvest. After 5 years, you can harvest, not like the other kind of tree in Malaysia, but 15 to 20 years. But and then during that time, you can harvest, but not for bamboo. And then the last thing, actually, if you have knowledge about go green, if you have knowledge how important to conserve a forest, I think this is good for you to educate others. And then I'm not mentioned here that the other kind of thing that you can do to help conserve forest. The other thing is maybe you can go to the forest eco park in Negeri Sembilan, feel the nature itself there, and then when you feel the nature, maybe you much more feel love about the forest itself. Just go at Negeri Sembilan and Malacca. We have plenty of forest eco park there, especially in Ulu Benda. Okay, that's all for today. Okay, sorry. I want to share once more. Okay. Did you see this? Oh, sorry. Is anyone see this? This is a river located at Jelebu. We call it, I just want to promote here, this is one of it we call Taman Negeri Kenaboy. I think all of you should come here to do some kind of program. I promote you here to come here. There are quite good facilities there. We have dorm. We have also have a hall. If you want to do whatever activity, you can come here. And this is place that you will go. I will show you this place we call Jeram Berungut. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Encik Sharul. That was very enlightening and lots of great pictures. Thank you. So now there is the Q&A session, but before that, just want to show you on the app. If you go to the events button, this is the new event that is coming up on the 30th of October. If you click on it and you click attend, I already clicked, so then you will be notified when the time comes. So now the quiz is live. You can click on the quiz. Oh, there's no quiz button yet, huh? So when the quiz button comes up, you can click on it to do the quiz. And if you do the quiz, you'll get 20 points. And then if you do the challenge, you will get 50 points. What is the challenge? So you go to See My Plant button here. This is the follow-up action that you can take a photo of you when you plant a new tree or a new plant. And then you can put the name of the plant here and also whether it is annual or perennial. And then post it on Facebook and tag MNS N9 Malacca and Nature Hero Talks. And then post the link to your Facebook post here. And then you can click submit on the top here. Okay, so now I will pass over to Lanisha to do the Q&A.
All right, thank you so much, Jenny. So good afternoon, Encik Sharul and everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. So I'm Lanisha and I'll be conducting the Q&A session. Before that, I would like to thank Encik Sharul for sharing his amazing knowledge on forestry. Thank you so much, Encik Sharul. So I have quite a lot of questions for you today. So let's start, shall we? Okay, so the first question is from Woody. So is palm oil plantation considered a forest? If yes, why? If no, why?
But to answer now, okay.
Yeah.
Plantation forest is not a forest, actually it's a plantation. And also for your information, palm oil actually is not a species from Malaysia. It's a, this is exotic species. We get that kind of species just for our economic purpose and for our plantation, but it's not controlled by forestry department. Okay, that's all.
All right, so let's move on to the second question. It's from Yenny. So what are the criteria for defining what is forest and not a forest?
Okay. Like actually it's not really when you talk about criteria, it's not really have a criteria in the world. It's a really specific criteria, but like I mentioned to you about the definition itself, actually it's about the abundance of tree dense, how dense is that tree. And also, okay, the only criteria, some of the people outside there, we call, when you planted all the monoculture species, we call it as a forest, but actually it's not. Monoculture species is not a forest. When you talk about forest, you must have many kind of species inside there, maybe 1,000, maybe a few thousands, and also must have as a home for our wildlife. Yes, plantation, for example, at a palm oil plantation, also we have some kind of animals there, we have owls there, but it's not as abundant as our forests. But to be specific about what is forest itself is not, there is no criteria itself, it's not. But for myself, on my opinion, monoculture is not. Monoculture, mono species is not a forest. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that information. It was quite enlightening. Okay, third question is from Harris. Recently, there was a phenomenon of mass flowering of dipterocarps. How was Forestry Negeri Sembilan involved in this activity? Do we have a seed bank in Negeri Sembilan?
Yes, we have, definitely. Not just seed bank. We have we have nurseries there. We're planting all the kind of tree. Now good. No, you are really who is the one answer the question? No, give me a question.
Mr.
Actually,
Harris.
Mr. Harris, actually this is some kind of, yes, now is the season that all the states collect this kind of tree, this kind of seeds, especially the pterocarp species. Actually, for your information, I think I'm not explaining to all of you what is the deep pterocarp species. Actually, deep pterocarp species actually is the species that are, you know, that are really not really actually this is dominant in our forest. And then the purpose of, you know, we in Malaysia, in Malay we call it as a pokok berdamar, because there are some kind of resin that come out from the woods itself. They call it the pterocarp species. Then we talk about the pterocarp species. One of the example of the pterocarp species, I think all of you know, is a cengal. Cengal is a, you know, the cengal is the most expensive wood in Malaysia, and also it is quite rare now. In Negeri Sembilan, it's very difficult to find. If we find it, there's no, we are not allowed to do some kind of logging activity for cengal itself. Some places still plenty of cengal in Terengganu, for example, in Terengganu. But cengal is one example of the pterocarp species, and now is the season. We collect the seedling, we collect everything to our nursery right now, and then maybe I'm not really sure why either we sell it or not. I have to make no, we are not sales now, no. But if you are, if you want the seed itself, the plant itself, if you some school or maybe your community, you want to do some kind of tree planting activity, just contact us. Maybe we can help. Sometime if you have some do some kind of formal letter, maybe just a free. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Shanul. Another one from Mr. Harris. Could you share about the Central Forest Spine project? Is
Okay.
Negeri Sembilan part of this project?
Yes, we are. Central Forest Spine is Negeri Sembilan is part of it, but it's not really big. When they talk about Central Forest Spine, actually this is the way our government to connect between, you know, to connect each forest from Negeri Sembilan until, you know, until Kelantan, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, we are trying to connecting with the way we try to connect the forest that now in Malaysia is quite fragmented. We are quite isolated. That's the way we are trying to, you know, that's the way the project from the government on how can we, you know, connect between this kind of fragmented forest. The important is because when this fragmented forest is can be connected, this also help the wildlife. It's quite big. For example, the tiger itself. For your information, tiger, the area for the tiger is more than 75 kilometer, 50 kilometer. The way they walk, actually, the way they walk, tiger itself. That's why some of the forests there's it's very difficult to find a tiger because the area is not really big. That's why the importance of Central Forest Spine. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this question is from Hun Lunti. When is the best time to visit a national forest?
Oh, national forest. At least you not come there on the monsoon, our monsoon season. And other than that, I think this is a good time. It's okay.
Okay. Next question is, what is the most special thing you encountered in the forest?
Pardon?
What is the most special thing you encountered in the forest?
What kind of specialties? Oh.
Yeah, special thing, like anything that you can remember or anything that you have in mind.
Me? This mean based on my experience?
Yeah, based on your experience. Yeah, special thing.
Okay. This is my experience. I think this is very scary experience. When I was at a Perhilitan, as I mentioned before, as a research officer, actually this thing that I'm doing wrong. I should not done that. But during that time, I'm very tired. And then because I'm working about, I think I'm using my motorbike. I'm using motorbike, enter into the Kelantan forest, just want to find our camera trap. And then I'll stay, and I'm really tired. I tell to my friend, you just go, you pergilah. Cakap, you just pergi, take the camera trap. I tak tahan, I penat. I cakap, I just stay there, I penat. And then I stay there, I stayed about on one and only. I have only parang in my hand. And during that time, you know, I listen one of the very scary thing, you know, the raw thing, you know, tiger come. But it's not in front of me, it's back of me. It's just lalu saja, and then I smell it, you know. I don't know what to stand. I just keluar parang. Ada motor. I ada motor during that time. Tapi I takut sangat. I tak tahu nak buat apa. And terlalu takut. Macam sebab I smell dia terlalu kuat tau. Sebab tiger ni kalau you sudah biasa you boleh bau dia. Aduh. That's the experience lah. I think. But after that, I just finished. I really, you know, I'm very proud to myself. I think it's lucky for myself. Rasa bertuah sebab rasa tu. And then lot of things. Just not a tiger. For your information, also sun bear. I've also saw sun bear, and then sun bear try. You know, I saw a sun bear at a tree, and then with their group of, and they have the children there because they try to protect the children. Then they chase me. Oh no, I'm just. Itu pun takut juga. Tapi lari lah. Okay lah, sun bear okay lagi pada harimau lah. That's one of my experience. Lot of experience. Okay. Okay. Just want to mention one of my bad experience also. This is about our phenomenal overflow waters. You know, like happen at Gunung Jerai. Have you seen a news about Gunung Jerai happen, our flood? Okay, this has happened to me at the forest. When it comes to the overflow water at the rivers, I just want to cross the river, and then overflow water come to me, and then they just, you know, I think macam dah lemas dah hari tu, I risau gila. I'm quite lucky sebab I dapat pegang pokok kat tepi, then also my friend another 5 also dapat pokok pegang kat tepi, and then masa tu macam aduh, I syukur I hidup lagi. Itulah one best of my experience. But I really love that kind of experience, to be honest.
I can see that you are a very adventurous person, Encik Shahrul. A very bold and adventurous person. I'm a bit intrigued by the part where you said the tiger has a certain smell. You can smell the tiger. So what kind of odor do they actually release?
It's very difficult to describe the smell of tiger. It's just like a goat, but a little bit, in my opinion, dia macam ada manis sikit bau dia. In my opinion, but dia punya bau tu kuat sangat. It's very strong.
Is it pleasant or is it like smelly?
It depends on people. For me, pleasant. I okay.
Okay, that's interesting actually. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Are there sites in Negeri Sembilan that we can do reforestation? By Harris.
Reforestation? Oh.
Reforestation.
Yeah, okay, I know. When I talk about reforestation, I'm not have the data about that. Maybe you can call me later about this. You can ask me later about this because I'm not specific on the reforestation because I'm an assistant director of Forest Ecopark. I will ask my colleagues, the other officers about this kind of issue. Just email me after this. Maybe I can at the chat I will give my emails. Maybe you can email me the question about this one.
Okay. So the next question is from Ken Leong. What are the types of mammals that can be found near Sungai Menyala Forest?
Oh, okay. Sungai Menyala Forest actually is one of the forest. It's a very fragmented forest. It is very small, only 1,200. And then when I talk about this very small, my experience, the only mammal that we can find there is you know, we call kucing batu. I forget the name. Kucing batu. There's some kind of cats. It's very small, but that's the only mammals. But the pigs there is very abundant. Pigs very abundant. Pigs and also monkey. But the good thing is really one of the rare thing that we have in Sungai Menyala. Actually, we have a red flying squirrel. It's very big. It's very beautiful. Actually, and is flying all around the forest itself, but it's not abundant. It's not plenty. Only about 3 to 5 individuals. Just a red flying squirrel. It's very difficult to find, but I'm lucky enough to find it about 3 to 4 times, I think.
Okay. There's someone asking the chat. What about leopard cat?
I mentioned leopard cat. Yes, leopard cat. Actually, yes, kucing batu. Actually, it's a leopard cat.
Okay.
Yes, we have it.
Right. Okay.
It's quite small, just like a cat in our house.
Okay. So the next one will be about the tree planting campaign that you mentioned earlier. So from Yanni, what kind of trees are planted in replanting programs?
Replanting is mean that the 100 million planting or other kind of tree campaign?
I think generally like replanting programs.
Okay.
Yeah, just in general, what kind of what kind of tree species do you use to?
Yeah, as I mentioned to you, whatever tree is okay. But if you collaborate with us, we will provide to all of you there's primarily about trees like Meranti, you know, the tree like Shorea, because Shorea Meranti or maybe Merawan, some kind of forest species. And also we maybe give you some kind of species like we call it, just forget the name. We call macam buah tau yang boleh makan. Tapi dia forest species, kita boleh makan. Macam pokok sentul. Have you heard about sentul species? Sentul, you know, sentul? Sentul tree, one of the three lah. Itu memang maybe we can provide.
Okay. Next would be, where can we plant trees? Most land are owned by private and commercial entities.
That's a good question. Actually, if you have your own properties, if you have own land, yes, that's good. If you just plant your tree in your own premise. But if you don't have, just contact. Like I mentioned before, if you want to do some kind of activity, maybe NGO, maybe school activity, maybe at the school also you can do some kind of activity, tree planting, and maybe we can offer you the places that I mentioned to you about reforestation. The area that quite, you know, that maybe the area that we can help you to plant this kind of tree, to do, maybe you can calibrate to this campaign that I mentioned to you. Maybe not right now, there is no land, especially this land is also quite difficult, but we can help you. Maybe we can plant the tree at our own forest.
Thank you so much for the information, Shahrul. There's another few more questions to go. So how can we help animal existence during this pandemic?
Okay, I saw this question in chat, but actually, to be honest, and during the pandemic, I think there's a good thing about pandemic is no people come to the forest. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a really good thing. But still, during pandemic is one of the things that's still the same actually about like I mentioned to you about the roadkill itself, because our forest actually is still now become smaller and smaller, become fragmented. That's the way just get as knowledge as you must, try to get the knowledge about, you must feel love about the animal itself. If you're not really macam kesian dengan, okay, this give you example. Some of the people macam suka bagi makan dekat monyet kan, dekat tepi jalan. Itu salah satu perkara yang jangan buat. Itu macam benda yang kita kena belajar lah. Macam tu, macam kita during pandemic, tapi the good thing masa pandemic ni kita tak berjalan kan. We are not working, we are not pergi mana, maksud tak ada benda tu berlaku. Tapi for your information, actually for the school, especially for the youngster, jangan bagi makan kepada wildlife. Paling penting tu, sebab nanti dia orang manja. Dia orang tak nak makan, dia orang manja, nanti dia orang tak nak cari sendiri makan. Nanti last sekali macam kita ubahlah dia punya, we try to change their characteristic. Okay.
Also, it depends, like if let's say we give them food, so their characteristic will also change, is it?
Yep, definitely they will change. Dia just stay there, dia tak nak cari makan dah, duduk situ tunggu orang bagi makan. I think that's not a good thing, because they are wildlife. So
they would not like go out and find food for themselves. So they'll rely food from others, is it? That's how it changes.
Yes, they are relying.
Okay. Okay. So do you need permit to go to the Jelebu Park?
Yes, all the forest macam kita perlu permit lah, semua perlu permit. Tapi kalau you mau buat some kind of activity macam tree planting, maybe we can help you. Okay, for your example, if you do some kind, mention tentang Jelebu tadi kan, macam nak buat activity di Jelebu, some kind of activity in Negeri Sembilan, RM5 per person. If you want to do some kind activity, hiking activity, but on Forest Eco Park macam nak mandi-mandi saja kan, macam ulu bendul tu tak perlu, itu free. Itu kami open, memang khas untuk public, but for educational purpose, like research purpose, for hiking activities, macam you want to go to deep into the forest, we give you permit RM5. But only on certain places, not all the forest. But at Jelebu, you just only allowed to come to Taman Negeri Kenaboy, our Kenaboy State Park.
So if we go for hiking, do we need like a guide, or is it safe for us to
Negeri Sembilan, no. But if we are not do some kind of rule of that, but I advise you to get one of the guide, especially on Taman Negeri Kenaboy. If you want to go to the mounts, our highest mountain actually we call Gunung Besar Hantu. That's the highest mountain in Negeri Sembilan. If you want to go there, I advise you to get to get a guide. But some of the forest like Gunung Datuk, Gunung Asi is not really tall, it's not really high, only required 2 hours or 1.5 hours. I think it's not really necessary for you to get guide.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sharul. We have 2 more questions for you. Does Malaysia have more production forests or more untouched protected forests?
Okay. It depends on the states. I just want to give you an example on Negeri Sembilan. In Negeri Sembilan, 50% is protected forest, 50% is protection forest. Okay, that's all. But the other state like Pahang, I'm not really sure the date and figure because it's into the state. I have to ask them. There's a problem with forestry because the forestry is controlled by the states. It's not controlled by the federals. Everything, every info must on the states.
So which means the percentage changes, is it like every year
yes.
for each state?
Okay, for Negeri Sembilan, we are type of states. We are lucky because our states government is now really focused on our ecotourism right now. And then the protection forest is become bigger and bigger. Before this, like I mentioned to you, about 50%, we are trying to plan to reduce the protection forest itself to reduce the production forest into a protection forest. There are many kind of protection forests. We call amenity forest for water purpose, water catchment area, like I mentioned to you before, flood area for soil protection, and that thing we put everything inside of protection forest. For example, at Taman Negeri Kenaboy, also we gazetted as a protection forest under wildlife protection.
All right. One more last question to Sharul before you wrap up this session. How is the forest cover measured in Malaysia?
Forest cover we have now with very good technology. We have GPS right now. We have GIS and everything right now. It's very simple. We have GIS and everything, but also on the ground we also must have a double check about the thing. But the simple thing it's very easy right now to get. We have also data, but it's the data from the forestry department on our website. Every year we are update the data about the size itself.
So basically,
and also, sorry, may I add? Actually, you also can read about we call it Dasar Perhutanan Negara. At Dasar Perhutanan Negara is quite a book, and you boleh baca dalam Dasar Perhutanan Negara tu what is our target, what is our our vision on how can we maintain our forest. Okay, this is for information. Kalau pernah dengar Rio Janeiro Convention kan, Malaysia ni salah satu negara, one of the country that must have a 50% of the forest. That's the thing that we are macam satu benda yang kita dah commit lah, mesti ada 50% ke atas.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sharul. That's it for our Q&A session for today. Thank you so much. I'll pass it to Yenny.
All right. Thank you so much, Manisha and Sharul, for answering all the questions. I'm sorry that some of the questions couldn't get answered. There's just a lot of questions you can send your questions to Sharul, then he will reply in your email. So now it's time to announce the quiz results. But before that, let's go to the app and let's look at previous week's challenge entries. So last week was Lanisha's talk, and the challenge was to post a picture of your recycling event. So let's look at Kuga Balaraman. His post was about his recycling event, and he posted pictures of the recycling truck. Do you want to say a few words? You can unmute yourself, Kuga Balaraman. You can unmute yourself and talk about your recycling event. Like how many bags did you recycle?
Hello, good evening. I'm Kuga Balaraman.
Yeah. So how many bags did you recycle that day?
I do the pencil order from recycled items such as tin, cardboard, and ice cream sticks. Thank you.
Oh, so you made DIY items from recycled items. That's great. Good job. Very well done. So I hope like more people will also do what you're doing. All right. Thank you very much. So let's go back. All right. Now we are going to the quiz results. So remember, you can either be the fastest or most accurate person to answer the quiz. Okay, let's see, go down here. Oh, we have 109 participants this time and 28 quiz submitted. Okay. All right. Who is the winner? Okay, so we have Tan Yingjie, Jasmine Ng. Wuti is not counted because he's the organizer. We have Renee, 1, 2, 3, 4, Kati Ravan, and Ashmita. Congratulations to our 5 winners of the quiz. So to get your prize, you can scroll down on the page of the event and you can find the organizer number, which is Wuti, and you can send a text to Mr. Wuti with your name and your house address so that the prize can be mailed to you. You can also go back and go to this info, and you can scroll down also and find his email and phone number here. So if you prefer to use email, you can email your name and house address to him. Okay, so that's all for our event for today. Next week is going to be Primates of Malaysia by Yap Jolene. She is going to talk about all the primates that she works with in her research. So it's on the 4th of September, 2 weeks from now, and at 2 p.m. So thank you all for coming and see you 2 weeks later. Bye.
Bye everyone. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, host.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Very end.
Very end.
Yeah.